Today, I'm going to explain why you have not accomplished the goals that you've always wanted to accomplish and a simple 5-step method for achieving those goals within the next 3 to 6 months. Here we go. I know that you have wanted something for a very long time. A job, a six-pack, personal confidence, a friend group, the ability to speak in public competently, a better salary, a spouse. And here we will delineate this 5-step exercise that you should write down so that you can take 5 minutes to transform your approach to achieving your goal. And you can get the worksheet that accompanies this at selfwire.org/goal. And you can download that for free. So here's the 5-step approach. And this approach is a bit counterintuitive. I think most people get goal setting and goal achievement and success. I think they get it all backwards because they try to suppress their desires. They try not to dream big. And at the same time, when they set their goals, they often set them as too lofty. So they deprive themselves of their dreams by guilting themselves and telling them they shouldn't want those things. They don't deserve to want big things. And they deprive themselves of goal achievement because they actually end up setting the bar too high and planning and strategizing for too much and trying to bite off more than they can chew. We're going to do it the exact opposite way from that. And here is the 5-step plan that will help you to manifest and achieve your goals. Number 1, discover what you really want. Okay, this is not a goal. Many people front load the goal aspect of the goal setting process. So it sounds right? You want to set your goal first and then figure out how to do it later, but that's 100% backwards, okay? That is very wrong-headed. A goal is a means of achieving something that you want. Okay, a lot of people think of a goal as a big tool, as a way of looking at your life through a macro lens, but it's actually goals are meant to be small tools. Okay, they're meant to be micro steps. So a goal is not a way of stating a big desire that you have. A goal is a step in the process of manifesting a reality. That's how professionals, that's how high achievers use the term goal. Achievement, meaningful life achievement and success is composed of several and often many achieved goals. Okay, achievement is a composition of goals. It's a tapestry of goals. So this is the phase. Discover what you really want. Step 1. This is the phase of goal setting where you actually, maybe even for the first time in your life, or maybe for the first time since you were a kid, you let yourself dream as big as you want. And you can indulge as much fantasy as you want. When's the last time you allowed yourself to fantasize? People usually don't do this. They don't indulge in fantasy about themselves because they don't believe it's possible to make this fantasy or their dream real. They don't believe it's possible to make their dreams come true. And I don't mean to sound like a Disney cliche, but we've really lost our sense of enchantment. We've become disenchanted about what we can accomplish because we've never done it before, because we've tried and we've failed too many times. And most people, they've become disenchanted with their potential because they have seen themselves fail to follow through time and time and time again and never get results. And so the only explanation for this that they have is that they're not powerful enough and that dreaming big just isn't worth it. So that's step 1 to goal setting. And if you don't do this, I don't think you're going to accomplish your goal. It's really important to open up that, and you have to open up your desire. And in so doing, in opening up to what you really want, you may even be opening up an old wound. It may be very painful because in order to allow yourself to want something, you have to allow yourself to be vulnerable. And it's going to bring up all those failures from last time, but you need to put those on pause. And you need to say, you know what? I'm going to allow myself to indulge in this dream for a second. Think about, what do you want? Maybe you want to lose 70 pounds. Maybe you want to have a 6-pack. Maybe you want to get a raise. Whatever it is, let yourself want it. What have you been thinking about? What desire have you been suppressing with, I could never? No. Let yourself indulge that for a second, okay? Let your mind rest for a moment on a particular reality that you want to manifest. What do you want? What have you always wanted that you've never been able to achieve? What have you never been able to accomplish? Imagine yourself accomplishing that goal. And do not let cynicism spoil your party, okay? Cynicism is not invited to the dreaming phase. If you let yourself cynically downplay your dreams, you are already guaranteeing your failure. Let yourself want and imagine and dream about the thing. What are the specifics of your dream? What are the details that come to your mind when you think, the thing that I really want, this is the quality of it. This is what it would feel. It would come on this kind of paper. I would look this way in the mirror. I would feel this way. What is that? How will your family react? What will your friends say? What will you feel? How will it change the rest of your year? What will the holidays look like differently? How will your enemies feel? Let yourself indulge in all of that. So the first step is discover what you really want, which really means allow yourself to want and get specific about it. Get very specific and write this down. Write it down. What do you want? Open yourself up to that desire. Allow yourself to dream. Because without an enchantment with a dream, all your goals will be crushed on day 1 or day 2. They will be crushed. And your disenchantment with yourself and your disenchantment with the very possibility of self-improvement, which is not, you're not telling yourself that you can't improve, but you've become so disenchanted and despairing about the very possibility of your change, has hampered your ability to want. You need to open yourself up to that. You need to allow those old hurts to come up with it too. And say, you know what? I really do want this. Despite all the failure, despite all the past times I've been disappointed with myself, I still want it. I still want it. What is it? Step 1, discover what you really want. Step 2, sign up for a performance that represents that desire. And this is by far the most neglected and most important element of achieving what you desire. You will fail to get what you want if you don't specify or if you don't commit to a specific performance which represents the achievement of your desire or the manifestation of your desire toward which your goal is oriented. If you want to get in shape, that performance could be anything from I will spend an entire day at the beach with my shirt off or in a 2-piece, right? That could be the performance, or it could be anything as much as I'm going to sign up and compete in a bodybuilding contest or a powerlifting contest, right? Pick a public performance-oriented event and commit that manifests your goal, and commit to it. Because it gives you a specific time frame and it gives you a performance-oriented task toward which you will train, which we're going to get to in a second. Arnold Schwarzenegger wisely said this. He said, if you're training for nothing, you are wasting your time. And he is absolutely right. Do not waste your energy and do not waste your motivation and your focus on a goal that does not have an explicit, actionable measurement in the reasonably near future. Otherwise, you will not have the motivation, you will not have the commitment, you will not have the discipline to see it through. The odds will be against you unless you allow yourself to dream and you pick a specific performance which manifests that dream toward which you can train. And we're going to get to training in a second. Number 3, choose the best daily training plan to succeed at that performance. This might be the hardest part of achieving your goals because maybe next to the actual execution of the plan, but the reason that choosing a plan, a training plan for the performance to which you've committed, the reason that choosing a plan should be hard is because you actually have to come face to face with what you hate most about yourself. You have to look dead in the eye, the very thing that you want to come, the very thing that has had its foot on your neck for so long, keeping you from change, keeping you depressed, keeping you stuck. You have to look it in the eye, and that is very hard. You have to take a long, hard look at the ugliest part of yourself It's very psychologically excruciating. That's why picking a training plan is so hard. You have to actually step on the scale. And that can be a very, very painful decision to step on the scale. You will want to avoid it. You will want to avoid it. You won't want to do it. You want to do it tomorrow. Don't do it tomorrow. The more you put off facing the ugliness that you want to change, the more you actually put off change. The sooner you face it, the sooner it will be gone. You will want to set a plan for yourself without taking an inventory of the exact weaknesses that you will actually improve. And you need to take that inventory so that you can pick a training plan which is most suited to overcoming that weakness, right? So even if you have two people who are training for the exact same performance, their training plans may be different. One, let's take bodybuilding, for example. And I know this is very few people's actual goal, right? But let's take bodybuilding just for an example. One person may be obese and they want to eventually one day compete in a bodybuilding competition. Another person may be very lean, but they have a very hard time putting on muscle and they're very scrawny. Their training plans are going to look completely different, even if they have the exact same goal and the exact same desire, right? You have to face up to what is the weakness that you have to overcome? What is the ugliness that you want to overcome in your life? And that is going to direct your training plan. So allow yourself to dream, pick a performance which manifests that dream as a reality. Number 3, choose the best daily training plan to succeed at that performance that is suited to your particular weaknesses or the particular obstacles in your life that you want to overcome. 4, here is where you pick a specific goal. And that's what the 4th step is. Pick a specific goal. Now, an achievable goal presupposes an articulated desire, which is your dream, which you've already done in step 1. And it presupposes an articulated desire, a performance that publicly manifests that desire, and a training plan suited to executing and winning at that performance. Your goal should be within that training plan. That's how you pick a good goal. Most people fail at goals because they set their goals before they even know what they want, before they've even said what they want, because again, they're so disenchanted with it, they're actually scared to say it. They're scared to face the wounds that come with wanting again, right? So most people fail at their goals because they haven't articulated a desire. They don't have any idea what they might be training for, and therefore picking a plan is just very arbitrary, and that's why they often fail on day 1 or day 2 of a plan, because it's not situated in a meaningful context, right? So people fail at their goals before they know what they want, before they know how it will be measured and tested, and before they even have a protocol within which they can test that particular goal. However, your training program measures progress. So make your goal to achieve a certain measure of progress according to the specific metrics of the program that you've chosen. That will be a meaningful goal. Most people live with this persistent sense of lack and failure because most people fail to achieve what they want. And this failure can, almost every single time, be boiled down to a lack of specificity regarding the desired goal, or oftentimes an unrealistic expectation for that goal. So they actually overshoot their abilities. So choose a goal within your training protocol for a performance-oriented event which manifests your dream or your desire. Make it very, very specific. So if you want to lose fat, write the exact number of points and means of measurement, and write down the exact time frame. And this is already going to be done. You're already going to have a day. Let's say, for example, that you're going to take your shirt off at the beach or whatever it is, right? You're already going to have a day that you're going to perform, which means your time frame is already set for you. You're not doing like a 12-week program because what's at the end of 12 weeks? I don't know. As opposed to saying, no, June 1st, I'm going to the beach with my friends. I'm going to take my shirt off. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to wear a 2-piece, whatever it is, right? So if you lose fat, write the exact number. So in your training program, right, in your training protocol for that day, which is suited toward that particular performance, pick a particular goal within that program, within that performance, and make that your means of measurement. Make that your goal. So If you want to get a better job, let's use a different example. Write exactly what company that you want to work for and the position in that company that you desire. Explain who you need to know in order to make certain requests and to become a known quantity to the hiring committee, right? Split the goal of getting a new job up into 20 goals and then order those 20 goals in a sequence. And then make the first goal your current goal, and then make your second goal the next goal, and each of them will have a natural time frame, all right? If you want a spouse, write exactly what are the most important traits that you desire and why those traits will facilitate a long and successful marriage. And your training protocol for getting married, I know it's kind of weird to think of it that way, right? But it will depend on your self-assessment of why you're currently not married, if you desire to be married and you've been trying and it hasn't worked, right? And what you could do to increase your likelihood of success. So whatever that program is, which it increases your chances of success, conceive of goals as small and performance-oriented within that framework. And also, this is just a point to bring up the nature of goals, okay? Because it's very easy to get confused about this whole process. Try not to get distracted by indirect goals. So, for example, if you desire a spouse, right? And if you think that your physical shape is a barrier to finding a spouse, don't make physical improvement the performance and marriage the dream. Okay, don't do that, because you have to take on one goal at a time. Physical improvement and marriage attainment and career success and progress, these are all three different dreams. So make sure that you don't build an impossible tower of dreams and goals built of all these huge insurmountable blocks, each more impossible to overcome than the last. Then you're just setting yourself up for failure again. You're overshooting your capacity, right? That's the opposite of what you want to do. Make goals as small and concrete as possible and make performance commitments as direct and straightforwardly relevant to your goal as possible. So make your goal very specific and make it very small. You don't have to write thousands of words about your goal, but you should have a distinct image in your mind of specifically what you want and specifically how you'll measure it and specifically why you want it. If you don't have those things, your goal is just going to burn up in the fire of temptation to be lazy and go back to your old life the way it was. Your goal will burn up. It will burn up. Know specifically what you want, specifically how you'll measure it, and specifically why you want it. When you write your goal, make sure that you write at least 3 sentences. What you want, how you measure it, why you want it. Number 5, and this might be the most important thing in terms of myth busting, how to be disciplined, okay? This is the 5th part. Turn your brain off. Don't try to make discipline as pleasurable as possible. Don't try to make discipline as reasonable as possible. Do not do it. You will overthink yourself out of discipline like that. Focus your mind, okay? Get into that like badass mode and become a machine for the duration of your training program. Achieving goals isn't about short-term pleasure. It's about long-term satisfaction. I've talked to a lot of people that try to lose weight, and one of the things that they talk about is how, oh man, this salad does not taste as good as the other food that I'm used to, and I'm trying to make all the food on my diet taste as good as possible. That might be what you need, or you might need to learn how to give up taste pleasure or tongue pleasure for like the next 12 weeks. You might just have to learn how to live without that, because you know what? You can live without that, and people do live without that. And that might be the very thing that's holding you back, is you're still psychologically committed to short-term pleasure, and you're still so committed to that frame of mind that you actually can't think of giving up pleasure for the sake of a longer-term satisfaction, for the sake of a longer-term goal. You need to learn the psychological skill of depriving yourself of reason and depriving yourself of pleasure for the short term. Okay, training will not be pleasurable. You will be hungry and scared and tired and trying to reason your way at trying to rationalize indulgence and laziness. And you will feel incompetent when you hit the heights of your capacity. Training doesn't feel good because you're making yourself better. And one of the things you're doing is you're throwing yourself into realms that are bigger than you and stronger than you and harder than you've ever done before. And you will feel less than you usually do. You will feel less than, you will not feel as good as when you are the big fish. You will not feel as good as when you're doing things that you're already good at. You're going to have to do things that you're bad at in order to be better. But that's the point. Work hard on your plan. Have focus. Be diligent. Train like you're trying to be the best in the world, because that performance to which you have committed yourself is coming at you like a freight train. That day on the beach, that meeting with your boss, whatever it is, whatever performance-oriented task that manifests your dream is coming at you, you've committed to it. Because that performance to which you've committed is coming at you very fast and very hard, and you will either shamefully fail or victoriously succeed. Train to win. Put aside all that self-love for a season and look at your fate dead in the eyes. I will change you. I will change my destiny. I will change the rails I've been running on for the past decade that have gotten me to this place that I despise. It's time to change. Don't overthink your discipline. Don't overthink your work. Don't change your training program 3 days in. No, finish it. Finish every workout. Finish every training session. Finish every specific time block you've set aside to prepare for your dream manifesting performance. Just gut your way through it. Clench your jaw through it. White knuckle your way through it. Don't try to pleasure your way through discipline. You will not make it. You will not make it. Whatever you need to do not think about it. Just do it. Don't think, just do. Do your thinking now in the planning phase, because later your brain is only going to be telling you one thing. Quit. 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 It's not worth it. Go back to bed. Do something else. Do literally anything else. Sucks for your brain. It's not time to think. It's time to do. Follow this 5-step plan. Allow yourself and use the worksheet at selfwire.org/goal. Use that worksheet and write out every single step. And listen to this episode as you write it if you have to, or unless you're, smarty pants and you've remembered or already been taking notes in these last 5 points, right? But remember, okay, allow yourself to want something that you know is meaningful to you, that you've always wanted. Allow yourself to want that again, even though it's going to hurt. Commit yourself to a particular public performance that manifests that desire. Part 3, pick a specific training protocol which optimizes your chances of winning that public performance. Number 4, pick a specific goal. Number 5, turn your brain off. That's it. That's the secret. Follow this, and I guarantee follow this 5-step plan, and I guarantee you will crush your goals. That's at selfwire.org/goal. Download that sheet for free. Get after it.